Modern economic theory relies on a single premise: an economy must always grow. The system demands compounding returns, trade surpluses, and private capital accumulation. By the 16th century, European empires were aggressively building the foundations of this exact model. They extracted global resources, specifically to stockpile wealth back home. Right next door, spanning 3 continents, and controlling the world's most vital trade routes, the Ottoman Empire operated under a completely inverted set of rules. This illustrates the standard mercantilist playbook. A nation exports maximum goods, minimizes imports, and watches domestic gold pile up. The Ottomans inverted this, hindering exports with heavy taxes and throwing borders open to foreign imports. They sent capital abroad to bring goods in. Internally, the state engineered the local economy to keep individual earnings low. If a citizen started accumulating massive private capital, the government intervened to redistribute it. While bleeding domestic capital appears entirely self-destructive today, this unique system prioritized social stability over the volatility of rapid financial growth. Centuries of meticulous accounting records show that these economic patterns resulted from centralized, deliberate management. The Ottoman bureaucracy tracked their unconventional strategy through thousands of ledgers. Economic historian Mehmet Genç analyzed these archives and identified a specific governing logic. He called the primary pillar of this system provisionism, or provisionism. Capitalist markets produce goods to generate profit. Provisionism produced goods strictly to supply the public. The state's ultimate goal was to flood the domestic market with a continuous supply of cheap, high-quality necessities, known in their records as Hawaii Chizaruria. Within this framework, exporting a resource decreased the public supply, while importing increased it. The Ottomans used the trade deficit as a tool to maximize domestic abundance. The state supported this with strict taxation and a rigid adherence to tradition. The government extracted enough revenue to survive, but they carefully limited that extraction to avoid disrupting the established social balance. These rules formed a closed-loop coordinate system. The empire managed a zero-sum game, tuning taxes and trade to prevent the economy from shrinking, while actively preventing it from expanding. Suppressing corporate expansion requires a specific ideological motive. A government only restricts financial growth if it believes that wealth accumulation poses a risk to its citizens. The Ottoman elites drew heavily on Islamic principles of equity. They viewed extreme wealth disparity as a threat to social harmony, designing laws to prevent the formation of distinct economic classes. This diagram maps the Muri land system, controlling agricultural wealth. The state held legal title, distributing identical plots directly to families. Farmers could not sell these plots in large blocks, making it impossible for wealthy individuals to buy up the countryside and become feudal lords. Even when citizens did acquire excess capital, the state funneled it away from private ventures and into the vakuf system. These religious endowments absorbed private money and converted it into public markets, hospitals, and infrastructure. The entire legal code functioned as an anti-accumulation engine. By stripping away the ability to hoard resources, the state forced private wealth to convert back into public utility. Measured by its own metrics, the design was effective. By ensuring land and resources remained evenly distributed, the empire maintained internal equity, insulating it from the peasant revolts tearing through Europe. This state-enforced stability achieved the goal of the Devlet-i Aliye-e-Ebed Mudet, the eternal state. This equilibrium became a vulnerability when the outside environment shifted. The Industrial Revolution introduced mechanized factories to Europe, creating a system built for rapid, compounding growth. This graph plots the collision. The stable equilibrium of the Ottoman model is suddenly overwhelmed by the exponential curve of industrialized capitalist growth. The empire found itself trapped. It could not compete with the massive output of European capitalism without dismantling the very laws of equity and public provision that held its society together. The Ottoman economy functioned as a highly organized welfare state that knowingly chose public equity over the mechanics of infinite growth.